Okay. Let's see if this actually did the thing that I wanted it to do. Let's see. Because it's acting like it's working. We're about to find out. Okay. Let's hope. Alright, fingers crossed, everybody. Wow, that is horrendous quality. What the fuck? Lovely. Come on. I despise it so fucking much. I literally get it working, and then now it just wants to act as if though it's a small window in the top corner of everything. Love when I go through all the trouble to get things set up only for technology to screw me in the end. Now, why? Let's try this again. Still not quite right. Ow. Lovely. Just what I wanted to see. Yeah, that's not even giving me the option to do that, is it? Let's try this again. Oh, lovely. Just really what I needed to see. A fucking ad in the middle of me trying to fix this. That's not going to piss me off. Okay, finally. Now, please, the rest of you work. There we go. All right. This is not at all working as intended, or how I even wanted this to operate, but we're gonna see what we can do regardless. Okay. Is everything, yeah, everything is upside down for you guys too. Just trying to avoid blinding you while at the same time not just only showcasing the smallest part of everything. Ah, that is beyond irritating. Okay. Well, now that that rage-inducing aspect of things not working as they should have is over and done with, welcome in, everybody. So, we have gotten a fun little opportunity. Is a buddy of mine printed off something rather fun for me, and we're going to clean it up a little bit and see about getting it painted up. As this being something I am overly hyped for, we're gonna partially put this together so that you all can see what it is. A couple of you may recognize it since I've been running and playing it non-stop here recently. If things will stay connected long enough for me to do this. Or we can just continue to throw things around, that works too. But a buddy of mine happily 3D printed me the Gears of War grenade. So this is actually a hand stabilizer. So this will help prevent my hand from shaking and, in theory, throwing my minis all around the place. Hey, you're one to talk, Josh. Go fuck yourself. I can be a nerd all the fuck I want. So yes, we have been wonderfully gifted a 3D printed frag grenade from Gears of War. So we're gonna kind of sand a few parts of it down, clean it up, and we are going to make this our next little project. Exactly, Techie. I do have great company. And like he's one to fucking talk. I myself will not be making the armor as I am not that crafty. However, as it turns out, there is someone who does make it that I am currently in talks with. Well, when was the last time you and I made anything that didn't fall apart instantly, Josh? So, yes, there is someone who makes Gears armor that I am in talks with. We will see if that winds up coming to fruition. But if it does, it's gonna be a little while before anything comes of it, which will be perfectly fine. Telling me to get good, motherfucker. Hell, you don't even get on the games with me anymore. What the hell you mean get good? With your old man work schedule. All right, so we're just gonna kind of run through and smooth out. Oh, this is gonna be a fun squeaky stream, isn't it? I mean, that is your fault for letting Crimson Desert have you like that, Josh. But I also fully understand. You'll be fine. Suck it up, Josh. Thankfully, that one doesn't really need any smoothing out. It's mostly the hilt, the top of the grenade shell here where it was connected to the plate, and then maybe a couple of spots on the chain, and we should be good. So we'll just run through this and smooth this out fairly well. You know, it probably would help if I turned the music back on, though. Let's do that. That way, maybe you can drown out the bad sensory sounds behind music. You're too much of a coward, Josh, or you would have done it years ago. I've been waiting. We can put stream on hold for this if that's what you need to do. But I will say, yes, Aset, the idea is eventually I do plan to do a full Gears cosplay. Ramen, dude, ramen tacos sounds fucking amazing right now. You might have struck gold there, Aset. Hey, I'm not going I'm not going to fault you for it. Don't keep me waiting, Josh. I'm sure your significant other will understand. I don't think so. Old says polishing frag grenades seductively. Get you some good rest there, Porsche. Hopefully your signal will come back. Your power and your signal will come back soon. Stay safe out there. Hopefully the storm will continue to pass and they'll get things back up and running for you here soon. Careful now, Josh. Don't forget, you're in a chat full of furries. We may take you up on that offer. If Pine doesn't, I certainly will. Callie, you have no idea the amount of grilling of the dogs that will be happening. The existence of finger-licking good implies the existence of toe-sucking evil. And I refuse to use this knowledge responsibly. Oh, look, it gets worse. Neat. Yeah, sorry, Techie. I mean, as you say, I'm just glad you're making friends, Josh. I absolutely love that you almost either unintentionally quoted or did intentionally quote Hellsinger Bridge, though. Oh, it gets worse. Great. I mean, the next time I see our wonderful friend, I'm going to schlorp his for printing this wonderful thing for me. This is why I'm not meant to be left alone with my inside thoughts. But eventually, the idea behind this is yes, I do plan to do a full Gears cosplay if and when we can get everything assembled. Because I asked him if he would be willing to print two of these, and he gave me this one and said, just let me see how it turns out once you sand it down and get it printed up or painted up. And if it looks good, then yeah. So I am very excited to be able to work on this and kind of do what we can to beautify it before we get it to the painting stage. Though it turned out fantastic in terms of printing. And before I glue everything together, I may want to try and put some weight on the inside of the head for it here. Absolutely fantastic little purchase of this little sanding block. Welcome in, Cozy.
Cozy the Owl rated your channel with 7 viewers.
Welcome in. How was Persona tonight? I was lurking over there, so I know that you were at least working on a little bit more of the good old Personas. I hope it was treating you somewhat well tonight. But welcome in. Grab you a seat. Ignore Josh, he's being himself. And I hope that we can at least provide some entertainment for you this evening as we work on a fun little cosplay piece. I mean, by all means, like, you act like you are a problem, Josh. Alright, come on, I know you're particular. There you go. Alright. I mean, I can 100% see that, Josh. I absolutely love this playlist. You can thank Landon for pointing it out to me. But it is just literally a medieval tavern mix playlist. Okay, let's see. I do have a reference photo to go off of here. So let me see if I can pull that up without too much difficulty. Okay, so steel color, this gets a wrap. So here is where my lights are, or where the lights would be. And then these are a dirty and dingy red. Okay. I can deal with that. Which means I'm gonna need to actually grab my other paints. Alright. There's the silver. Now, use that one for the lights. Alright, we'll start from the bottom and work our way up. Probably be a wise idea for me to glue that together first. And of course, I thought I had everything in here with me, but I did not. Let me fix that. Okay. In case we need more of the primer color. All right. There we go. Alright, that should be good enough to start. Go ahead and just top this back off. All right. Let's prime this up, shall we? But I do hope that everybody else is doing well tonight. Hopefully the storms that have been blowing through are over and done with in your area and that there's not any lasting damage from it. I can already see where I'm going to be adding some personal touches to this. But the idea that I definitely want to go with is I do want to keep that dark primer on it. As you know, everything in Gears is overly gritty and grimdark. And well, the weapons should reflect that. is actually taking the paint a hell of a lot better than I was expecting it to. But you guys are able, like, everything's coming through clearly and you're able to see things pretty easily this go round. Now that we've, hopefully gotten past all of our technical difficulties. Wonderful. Alright, we'll set that there for now. Welcome in there, Landon. I hope you're doing alright. How has your night been going for you? Okay, so that's just a steel band. Awesome. I do hope that the evening is going by pretty well for you. Ultimately, this one doesn't necessarily need a lot of color or whatnot because I am going to be covering the majority of this. But I know that it's there, so I'm going to color it. I mean, we'll take it's going. Hopefully you're at least, all the fun storms that are hitting down here aren't making their way up to you. Because we we had a nice visit from Odin's son earlier. Gotta love those early summer monsoons that we get. Oh yeah, no, we got right before I got off work, we got hit with a severe weather alert stating 80-mile-an-hour winds and heavy rain. It was enjoyable to watch. Welcome in, Cozy. How did Persona wind up treating you? You're perfectly fine, Cozy. I mean, I will agree, but unfortunately down here is that what happens after it rains is usually worse than the heat. Once that humidity skyrockets, it just becomes miserable because then the air becomes oppressive here. And I'm already trapped in an oven, so I am just in a perpetual state of just le miserable. Alright, so now that we've got because how much of you is going to disappear?
And look at what we have here. A bloody heathen.
Asete31
Well,
subscribe to your
welcome
channel
back,
for 8
and thank
months.
you for the resubscription there, is that? Oh, 100% they're fine. And unfortunately down here, that's that's all we get. Okay, so let's do this. That one's about out. I hope that you guys don't get slammed too bad by it. But unfortunately, I do know how that it's one of those where you're just sitting here prepping and waiting for it to hit. It was a little wet still. Not terrible. If you can, go for it. Okay. By all means, go for getting a fan on a good deal, getting a window unit at a good deal, anything that'll help try to beat the heat. Because unfortunately, it is only going to continue to become more and more oppressive. Like the wind and rain today, fantastic while it was happening. As soon as it ended, I hated it. So glad I could just jump into my car and crank the AC. Oh, good lord, yeah, no. I'm thankful that I have a ceiling fan installed in here, but I sleep with it on full blast year round. Even when it's freezing, because I cannot stand to fall asleep hot. That could just be the fact that I turn into a furnace when I fall asleep. So I just can't. I can't deal with it being hot. Try my best not to fill the slot for the chain in, or else the glue will sit here and only try to stick to the paint instead of the material here. Alright. That is the handle primed. That felt great. But minus our little growing pain from moving to our new setup in here, I'm so happy to be back at my desk. Even though I may have a lot less room than at the table, I feel a little bit more focused here. As this is the new painting, well, it's my old painting desk, but it is where I have been painting for years and set it up to do so. But now that the house is mine and I can maneuver things around a lot better, I was able to move quite a bit of stuff around last night to be able to set this up. No. Noah said no. I have made that mistake once or twice. No. Yeah. I've made that mistake once or twice. I don't wish to make it again. If you want the free soup, you can come and get it. By the time you get here, it will have marinated itself fantastically. I said, I think I am tall enough. I don't need to be any taller. I am already unsettling enough as it is at my current height. His what now? He got his favorite roommate as a drinking mug? Said, why didn't you tell us? Painting this chain is going to be a pain in the ass, isn't it? If you had told me you were getting the mug, I would purposely go out of my way to ensure that you got a Teddy plush in that care package you'll be receiving. I wouldn't want you to miss out on your favorite Persona character. So, was the voice cast fully confirmed? Is Sam Riegel coming back as Teddy, or is it a whole new voice actor for this run? Just out of curiosity. Okay. Hey, Sam is a wonderful person. He played Teddy exactly as the director asked him to. But okay, a whole new voice cast. Okay. I'm interested to see how that plays out. Oh yeah, painting this chain is awful. Alright, that's fine. Was planning on taking a shower after stream anyway. Oh, really? Okay. I mean, hey, more power to you. Everybody's got their preferences. Oh yeah, this is. Oh, this sucks. But it's gonna be worth it once it's all done. Yeah, and the problem is I know some of this paint is gonna stick to itself. Now, see, Cozy, it has been so long since I have played the original Persona, or watched the original Persona 4 being played, that I don't really remember how Chie sounded. I remember Yuri being part of it, and I remember Vic Mignogna being a part of it, and that was about it. But also, I was not as up to date or on top of my voice actor recognition. As I have eventually become. Okay, I mean, I will have to trust your word on it. Because, like I said, the Persona series were never my game per se. I only really got into it with 5. But that was my ex-wife's series that she loved more. That and Kingdom Hearts were her series. Whereas, I was over here playing Halo, Fable, and Gears of War. And Skyrim, Oblivion, and all that. But I did watch her run through 5. Oh no, I know of Sephiroth's theme. Which I'm also very proud that you were able to take him out there, Hedgie. My ex-wife did have me play through Kingdom Hearts. I just never played through the Persona series. That was what she was trying to get me to play next. But no, I'm very, very aware of Sephiroth's theme. Which is ironic because, again, I was never a big Final Fantasy fan either. Though that 100% could just simply be the fact that I don't typically seem to like things that are popular or have a massive fan base when they first start out. Oh god, old's a hipster. But no, like, when Kingdom Hearts first dropped, everybody in school was losing their minds about it, and I watched some gameplay of it, and I was like, this is not at all what you were describing it to be. And it was the same way with Final Fantasy. Final Fantasy tricked me because, we got those amazingly highly detailed cutscenes. And even as a little old, I was overly picky about my game should look like it was displayed. So the fact that Kingdom Hearts had these super high definition rendered cutscenes, but yet the game was, polygons, pissed me off. So because of that, I didn't ever really get into Final Fantasy, and at the time, I very much was not a big fan of turn-based combat. To me, the only turn-based combat game at that time that existed was Pokemon. Oh, 100%. I can speak to that personally, as that. Back when I worked security, I had a friend who played League, and I made the mistake of letting him talk me into playing it. And I hated every minute of playing it. Because again, yes, I was lied to by your cinematics. You made me believe you were something you weren't. Oh yeah, no, the cutscenes, the movies, little animations and stuff that people have done with Final Fantasy, they all still look great. But as a young old, was very disappointed because everybody was like, "Oh, it's the best looking game ever made." And what I did not realize is they were simply just talking about the damn cutscenes. And then, of course, when I sat down to try and play it, I was very, very irritated and disappointed. Because in my mind, I was about to sit down to a full cinematic masterpiece. And instead, I got caught in a turn-based Pokemon game that looked worse than the Pokemon games I was playing at the time. So yeah, I just never got into the Final Fantasy craze. And also, like, everybody in school was, it's the best thing in the world, and I just got very, very tired of hearing that. So I unintentionally just became a Final Fantasy hater as time went on. Alright, let's see if I can clean up just a little bit. Tired of my hand sticking to itself. There we go. Alright. Now, ironically, I liked the playstyle of, what was that? 14 was the MMO. Was it 13? No, that was the one with lightning in it. Might have been 12 when they went to the, more action-based combat system. I thought that I would like it then, but I don't know, still just don't care too much for it. I don't know why. Was it 11 that was the MMO? I thought that was 14. Okay. Fair enough. is not what I want you to select. I'm trying to select this so I can look at it. So that's supposed to be a bolt. We're gonna change a couple of things. Okay, so majority of this will be steel colored. That line will be, this line here will wind up being where it would have its lights. But I'm gonna have a little bit of fun with it. Doesn't have to look 100% like it does in the game because it's mine. Once again, we're gonna make sure we're not painting into where the chain connector will be. This way we'll give the chain a good chance to dry. And once it dries, we can go back over it with the color that it's going to need. I love that this is a big, simple kind of project. Like, technically, the grenades only have like 3 or 4 colors to them. They're mostly just red and gray with a line of light on it. I mean, hey, once you get done with Persona and you get done with the Persona remakes, 100% you can spend the next little while running through some Final Fantasies. Because, I mean, that's basically what I'm doing with you guys. You guys are keeping me accountable for, you know, my pile of shame that's built up over the years. And we've rocked out a massive chunk of it. In the last several months. Because, I mean, hell, like I've said before, I would be doing this anyway. Really, what you guys help me do is make sure I don't stay up to the point where the miniature starts talking to me. because I've been painting it for too damn long. You guys wind up helping be the perfect ADHD alarm clock, preventing me from going for too damn long. As well as, it's just great to have company while we sit back and work on these projects. Or while I sit here and game and you guys trash talk me the entire time. Like I said, that's 90% of the point of why I stream. Is I'd be doing this anyway. Better to do it with friends as opposed to just sitting here in my head alone all night. Because then I get to showcase some of the cool things that I work on, as well as I just get to enjoy having you guys here to talk with me. Like Landon was talking about earlier today, I really just wanted to have a community. And you guys made that wonderful dream a reality. Not only did I get to join arguably the best community I've ever been a part of, I got to sit back and make some amazing friends who sit here and watch me nerd out over the things I'm interested in, nerd out with me. And honestly, that's the best feeling in the world for me. I mean, that's your fault for losing the Nerf fight over the weekend. I don't know what to tell you. I believe some would call that a skill issue, Callie. And only four? Could have sworn I shot you more than that. No, it's called an opportunist. It's not my fault you weren't aware that I had the weapon behind you while you were busy engaged with my gremlins. Like I said, that sounds like a skill issue. As the kids say. I mean, are you sure? Because the look on his face said he needed the help. And what kind of chaos gremlin would I be if I didn't help my gremlin when he needed help? I mean, you had fun, didn't you? Welcome in there, Ols. I hope you're doing alright. We're doing absolutely wonderful tonight. After a little bit of technical issues, we seem to have things mostly figured out, so we're gonna sit back and relax while working on a new little paint project. Phrasing, Callie. Phrasing. How have things gone on your end there, Ols? Now, did you just get auto-modded? No, you don't have to shut up. You just have to understand when you phrase things wrong, I'm gonna call you out because my mind is going to make a point that, hey, they said a thing. They said the thing. Show restraint or don't, but they still said a thing. Well, I'm glad that the day is at least coming to an end for you there, Oles. Get you some good noms and sit back and relax. And now that you're almost home or are home, you can turn your brain off. And I just started blasting. I mean, to be fair, I am having a wonderful amount of restraint because I'm not saying any of the comments that pop into my mind other than phrasing. That's fine, I'll bring the minigun. Pretty sure I can go buy me an extra belt for it. And then just walk in looking like the heavy weapons guy from Team Fortress and just have a ball. Oh, 100% it is. I'm the adult, of course I get the automatic. Are you sure about that, Callie? And 100%, Oles. If you're not going full John Wick when you have every opportunity to against your friends or your gremlins, are you really doing it right? 92 or 93? You literally only win by less than a week. I mean, technically you could, Oles. It's not technically a firearm, and it can do no harm to a child unless you were, overly close. So the next time you give a test, just bring one with you, and the first kid you see cheating on his test, you just pop him in the back of the head. Not advisable. Never said it was advisable. I just said you could. Possibly, even depending on the kid that you're aiming at popping in the back of the head, you should. Because, I mean, surely there's at least one, Knowles. There, surely as soon as I mentioned that, there was one kid who immediately came to mind that you would be like, oh yeah, I'd lose my job shooting that kid with a Nerf gun. I mean, if you want, I'll definitely a few. I mean, if you want, I'll definitely shoot you the link to the minigun that I got. And what you do with that information is 100% up to you. And possibly the PTA board. Why? You just told me it wasn't allowed. So why would I give you an automatic if I'm not supposed to have one? Sure. But I don't know, Oles. I think a couple of kids nowadays would find that to be absolutely hilarious and a blast for a teacher to just stop talking at the other end of class, just thunk. I'm not saying get the rocket launcher that, shoots a football-sized projectile at a kid. I mean, unless you just really want to make a statement with that one. I mean, I know I probably would have paid attention a little bit more in class if there was a threat of being, darted from across the room. Or at the very least, it would have made getting in trouble a bit more entertaining. Good evening, llamas. I hope you're doing all right. Now, see, that could be you, Ols. You could be the hilarious teacher. You know, dropping your kids with Nerf darts when they play or sing the wrong note. I guarantee after a couple of bullets, you're gonna wind up not having kids singing or playing the wrong notes. But I hope you're having a wonderful night there, llamas. It's always a pleasure to see you. All right, Ols, you go for it. Get something good to eat. Man, I would love some tacos right about now myself. Okay. Unfortunately, llamas, I know the pain of a cat that just doesn't want to accept that its food bowl is full. Alright, let's take a look at that reference photo again. Yeah, we had one of those like fountain water uh, watering bowls for the cats, and they that spoiled them rotten to the point where if that died or needed replaced, they wouldn't they didn't want anything else to do with it. They are well, thank you. This is simply just the primer part. Okay, so these are actually supposed to be lights. Okay. My fault. Alright, so those are supposed to be lights. Okay. Ooh, some tuna, okay. Sounds really good, actually. Right, one sec. go. Okay, so let's go ahead and work on our studs here. Don't you do that. I miss the days when we had, civilian industrial strength adhesives. Shit that would set in like 5 seconds. Like the super glue you had to, as soon as it hit air, it would start adhering to shit. I miss those days. Oh no, like even they changed all of the stuff's formulas. Yep, I know that feeling too there, llamas. But yeah, no, they changed all their formulas for a lot of these, adhesives because, people were stupid. Gluing their hands to things and then wanting to sue the company for, well, I know your case said that, I had 10 seconds. But I didn't expect it to literally mean 10 seconds. Yes, motherfucker, that's why it was super glue. That one's not adhering well. I mean, yes, but, like, you should know better than to order a piping hot coffee and then set it on your dashboard as you pull away. Now, again, granted, I get that you burnt the fuck out of yourself and there was no reason for your coffee to literally be half the temperature of the surface of the sun. But there were levels of fault here. No, unfortunately, it is not. It is no longer common. Should. Are you correcting my bad grammar, Landon? Ah, okay. But no, I very much do yearn for the before times when I agreed. Well, I mean, yeah, but surely you don't put your. Well, also, your coffee's never piping hot, so if it spills, it's never. It's a sad day, granted, but it's not, a hospital visit. I mean, no, granted, I get that. It's still a massive mess. But, most cars have cup holders. So why is your coffee not going in the cup holder there, Landon? If I eventually learn to speak English, maybe I'll be unstoppable. Oh, okay. I'm not saying you didn't know what a cup holder was. But okay, like leaving it on top of the car, that's one thing. Yes. Like I do that every time I get in my car with my the thermos I take to work with me. I thought you were saying you were putting your coffee up on the dash. That's what I was about to give you shit for. Okay, just 2 more studs here. And then we can maybe move on to getting them painted up. Okay, let you sit under there. Let me ensure that I don't seal my finger onto itself. It may be fun for some, but I prefer not to seal my fingers to each other if I can help it. this is coming together nicely now. So we'll go ahead and get this finished, primed, and painted. And then we'll go back over it with the silver while we let this continue to cure and dry. And then here in a few minutes we'll finish the chain here first. Then we'll work on connecting the base of the grenade to that. You have a wonderful night there, Aset. If we get done with this, I will very happily send you a image of it. If not, then we will definitely finish it on our next stream. But you go and get you some good rest, and you have a wonderful night, and we will see and talk to you tomorrow. Get you some good rest, and you have a wonderful night, Aset. Sit there and rest, and cure and dry. Now the fun part. Turn these two screws into lights. Same with the divots here. this is fine to stay as is. I will wrap that and paint the wrap that I use. So everything else just gets the silver treatment. This will be what we use for the lights. And you'll be what I use for the head of the grenade. Does it now, Holes? Yeah, it's those overly expensive army speed paints. Though I can 100% see what you mean. Let's finish the top of the grenade here. And then we'll move on to coloring this entire thing in silver. And then what I'll probably do, just to add a little bit of extra personalization to this, I'll probably add the same light color for the, lights that these things are supposed to have on the ends of each of these little nodules here. Because what's the point of making something like this if you're not going to personalize it to yourself at some point? residual glue on that one. Alright, it's turning out pretty well so far. A very long priming process. But this is also why I love working at this desk, because this lamp here generates a decent amount of heat. So it helps speed up the drying process of all these paints. priming. Okay. Everybody should stretch and hydrate. Okay, so
Let me get some shit!
thank you, Callie.
My fucking back.
Okay, so you do have some adhesive to you, which is good. Let's see here. There it goes. I was wondering why it wasn't showing up. Let me see if I can bring this down a little bit. Nope, wrong direction. Still having fun technical issues. There we go. And you. Don't know why you've moved. There we go. Yay, now things are how they should be. Thank you, Landon. Well, it's funny because I had issues getting the phone to work as a webcam for some reason when we started tonight. And apparently, in resetting and messing with things, it didn't give me my VTuber or my little Mocha Meeting House representation. Which is odd because I had already set it up to have them in their proper places, and instead it didn't want to give it to me. But it's okay, we've got it working now. Well, I mean, yeah, no, OBS has been giving me a headache since I moved back here into my new setup. I think it was happy being as redneck engineered as it was in the living room, and me moving it into its new home. It just doesn't know how to act now. Oh no, I actually have a webcam, but it's apparently not the webcam that I need for this, which is fine. Um, I can make do with this. I was just very confused as to why this one was not working, as this is, according to everybody else, one of the best and simplest ways to do things like what I'm doing. Because you don't have to deal with, OBS requiring or needing things to update. Everything just goes through the phone. I mean, I'll happily give it a try. My problem is, though, as you've noticed me getting up to edit anything on stream, the PC is on the opposite side of the room. So that may put a damper on things unless I can find me a 20-foot USB cable. Which, surprisingly, I think I know where I can get one. Back at the old job. I think we used to sell them. It's just after moving everything that I did last night. Just to even have this part set up. Things should have gone smoothly, but OBS has once again proven to be problematic at best. That I'm not entirely sure there, Ols, as this is just a Spotify playlist with royalty-free, Ren Fair-esque medieval music. But there are several pieces that sound incredibly familiar. Yeah, there was one earlier that was given just like pure Majora's Mask vibes. Silver is so good to paint with and also just such a pain in the ass to paint with. The streaks I'm not actually too worried about, as even on the artwork for the grenades themselves, they are marred, streaked, and even some of the paint looks like it's been just chipped or worn off. So having a few streaks here and there is not going to bother me too much. And if it does, my TISM will cause me to go back over it like 6 more times to get rid of it. Do find it weird when it ends a song like that, though. by the sounds of it. I may have, no, 100%. I definitely agree with you on that there, Ols. But it seems like I may have come to the end of the album I was listening to, and it's moved on to another genre. But that's perfectly fine. I like the lo-fi beats while I get lost in the project at hand. Like I said before, this part does not matter as much, simply because I'm going to use that athletic wrap on this and then paint that athletic wrap. Okay. Hell yeah, Ols. We love knowing that you're out here just vibing on the sax. I mean, that's fair. Unfortunately, nowadays I have to have something on in the background for me to start getting to sleep, so I usually find like a ship sailing on the seas or some kind of ambient background noise. You'll get there, Ols. I've got faith in you. And no, same, Callie. Falling asleep in silence is, it's not impossible, it's just difficult because for me, the brain immediately just goes into overdrive when it's quiet. Which is why most of the time you'll see me with, you know, at least one earbud in or part of my headset in. This is gonna be the pain in the ass part. Getting these fucking chains. Okay, no, that's fair. Yeah, my gremlins have taken to the ocean sounds as their favored method of white noise. Though I will say this run of whatever soundtrack is going is kind of throwing me off now a little bit. So let me see about fixing that, shall we? Stay. Let's see here. Apparently I flew out way outside of his... I was still in somewhere in his discography, but way far away from where I originally was. I mean, no, that's fair. Another thing that I usually sit back and listen to is some kind of like Reiki spiritual healing or singing sound bowls or something like that. That usually helps me fall out real quick. Usually what I listen to while I'm at work for the work nap. Oh yeah, I'm fairly famous for my work naps. By the time my lunch rolls around, I've already, because I mostly eat on the go while I'm at work. So usually by the time my actual lunch rolls around, I've already eaten enough not to be hungry. So I just take me a nap. I'll go curl up in the car, crank the AC, and just fall out for a little while. It definitely can be, especially if it's a shitty day at work. Usually it's a great way to kind of threaten my coworkers into leaving me the hell alone for the second half of the day. Because they'll see me walk back in groggy and tired, and they immediately know that now is probably not the best time to approach him with bullshit questions or problems. Make him panic every so often and come back about 5 minutes later. Make them think that I just decided to say fuck it and leave for the day. The look of relief on their face when I walk back through the door is glorious. Well, sometimes it feels like I work with toddlers, so your guess is as good as mine on that one. God, these chains are a pain in the ass to paint. All right. Where are we time-wise? About 30 minutes left. Yeah, we'll wind up finishing this off on Wednesday, but we'll have the majority of it done tonight, which is awesome. I may need to use a different brush for this piece. But all in all, this is actually turning out really well. Trying to leave the necessary space open for where I will paint the quote-unquote lights that are supposed to be on this, as well as trying my best not to paint over the section of this that actually needs to stay black. But this probably isn't the right brush to do that with. So there will be a couple of places I gotta touch up, but that'll be fine. And then I'll get to add my own flair to it. Secure under that light for a few minutes. Yeah, it's getting a little bit close to that time, isn't it, Landon? Oh, okay. Well, I mean, yeah. Especially if you're working on a project, you get just as involved in yours as I get involved in mine. Right. So, we have actually gotten quite a bit done on this tonight. So I can already see a couple of areas on the chain that I may need to touch up, and there will be some areas on the bottom of the explosive yield that I'll need to touch up. But it looks like on Wednesday, we will be finishing this up, as the top of the grenade will need to be painted, which I'm going to use this army speed painter for it. And then the quote-unquote lights, I'm going to use this army speed painter for it. That should give a pretty nice contrast between the colors and whatnot, and we'll wrap the handle and then paint the wrap to make it look older and aged, and then I'll start adding my own flair to it. But hell yeah, here we go. Actually, let me adjust the camera here so that y'all can actually see that. So, the majority of the Gears of War frag grenade is assembled. Wednesday we'll touch up some of these chain links a little bit, and we'll prime and paint this connector chain piece. And then I will also rock out a little bit more of the detail work on this, and then we will paint up the top of the grenade. And like I said, I may try and go and get something to put inside this, like a little sandbag or something, to give it a little bit more weight behind it. because that will be how she looks fully assembled. Minus some of the extra detail that I will be using. And I might even go and pick me up some other kind, like double-sided tape to put on this, because technically they stick to walls. And I think it would be funny to hang one of them up in the wall as if though it was primed and prepared to be used. Come on, let her go. Thank you. But alright. Not bad for a night's work. So, let's see. I'm hoping, because my buddy told me, he was like, you know, hey, I'm only going to print one, let me know how the painting of it goes, because if it turns out really well, then I'll print you out the second one. So I'm hyped as hell to get this done, because one, E-Day's coming, and of course I'm going to be hyped up and fanboying about that for a while. You guys think I'm insufferable about it now, wait until it's out. But, I mean, Gears is literally I can go back and play it pretty much forever. That is my comfort game series. And so I am Gears, and we're getting a brand new game that tells the story of, you know, that opening of Gears of War 1. Fair enough, Landon. If it's not my Star Wars war crimes, there's plenty of others. But that's what makes it worth it. But yeah, simply the fact that, you know, you can claim all you want, I was justified in my murder of that man. And his sandwich was delicious. Okay, I mean, that'll work. Pine, I love the combination of those emotes. Because 100% yes. Alright, so let's see here. We're gonna swap over to this. We're gonna do this for a moment. Forgive the darkness. There we are. No, that was just my leg and one of my hands. Oh, that's right, I had to restart. I was looking at my time and I'm like, wait a minute. I started at regular time. What the hell do you mean I'm only 3.5 hours into this? And I had to restart because of technical difficulties. Landon, it's okay. You can see the blue now. I see how you're gonna be. But while we're sitting here thinking about this, I will go ahead and toss back out the fun announcement that this Saturday at noon Eastern, I will be running my donathon. And we will be doing everything that we can. I should have a special guest joining me for the donathon. They will at least be here with me, gaming and running the shenanigans with me, at least hopefully until we complete one of our goals that we've set for ourselves. But we will be running amok and having an absolute blast. And I honestly cannot wait to see how much fun this is going to be, whether we reach our funding goals or not. Just the fact that you guys are going to be here to shenaniganize with me throughout the entire thing makes it worth it in the end to begin with. But with that stated, I do believe we are now here at the end. So you all have a wonderful night. I very much want to thank you very much for hanging out with me tonight and shenaniganizing with me and nerding out over my, weirdness that I have with the wonderful game franchise, Gears of War. But you guys get you some wonderful rest. I hope that the day finds you well, whether it be morning, afternoon, evening, or night. And we will catch you all back here on Wednesday. And if not, we will catch you in other friends' streams, or we will catch you in the server. You guys have a wonderful evening, and we will talk to you soon. Va fail, everyone.